we go to Southfield. Jeff in Southfield with the official RSVP. Jeff, what's up?
Thank you for the vine, Jim. Jim, before I start my call, I'd like to say a couple nice words about Adam Hawk. Jim, I don't remember what year tattoos went from being the badge of rebellion to being the badge of phony, poser, soft, wussy, wannabe rebels, but it was definitely before Hawk got his. Hawk, you make a living selling golf course clothing and apparel. How the hell does that make you a rebel? Hawk, at the end of a Steve McQueen movie, when he gives his enemy the middle finger and rides off into the sunset, he doesn't ride off in a golf cart. Hawk, you're not a rebel. You're a confused idiot. Speaking of confused idiots, hey, Taco Bell, are you really wrapping a tortilla around some Fritos and Doritos and calling that a sandwich? Listen, Taco Bell, once you start serving snack chips as an entree, you stop being a restaurant and you start being a 7-Eleven. What's next? You're going to start selling liquor and porn? Hey, America, there's a new sandwich at Taco Bell. We take a porno mag, fold it like a tortilla, wrap it around some cheap liquor, and call it the Porn Lupa. You got to provide your own sauce. Last thing, Jim, Brad and Corona went on one of those shows your listeners host where they talk about your show. I don't remember which loser show it was, but on that show, Brad said his 10-year-old son already reminds him of his old man because when his kid strikes out someone in Little League games, he taunts the batter as he walks back to the dugout. Really, Brad? You mean just like his old man, your son is already so painfully aware of how tiny his junk is, he has to compensate by being a bully? I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree when the branch it's on is just a little nub. Jim, in most families, it's a tradition for the father to hand his Little League glove down to his son. But in Brad's family, they hand down their protective cup. Which one you giving the boy, Brad? The bottle cap or the peanut shell? That'll wrap it, Jim.
That's not a good call. No.
Alvy, why did you do that?
I don't like that call.
Very clearly, I was going to let it go if I let the first four go. I was like, dude. Notice this time he's not talking to me in drops. This time Alvin's like pushing the button. Dude, it's too many, dude. Too many, dude. I can't have that. Yeah, probably we should have stopped him at, quote, sauce. Don't hashtag that. Hey, listen. That's an RSVP the day before. I want to reiterate the point that I've been making all Smackoff season. And I think another reason why I love this, I don't know how these things keep coming to me as horse analogies, but I remember before the Breeders' Cup Classic when Shared Belief was going to run. And he ran in a big stake race a couple of months prior, and it was a really controversial race where Bob Baffert had a jockey push Shared Belief all the way to the parking lot. Pushed him wide. And in fact, the jockey who did it was penalized, literally. And Baffert called me up and said, hey, just so you know, I didn't tell my jockey to do that. And this is actually a true story. He's blowing me up on my phone, and Baffert says, just so you know, I didn't tell the rider to do that. And I said, hey, Bob, you mean to tell me you didn't tell your rider to push my horse into the parking lot? He's like, no, of course not. I would never do that. I'm like, yeah, all right, Bob. Anyway, a journo hits me up. Follow the analogy. It's going to make sense. A journo then hits me up and says, are you not concerned that your horse expended all that energy before the biggest race of his career? I said, no, not at all. Now we know what he's made of. Now we know he's got grit. No. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. The horse will be fine. So what actually happened in the big race is something different. What I'm saying to you is all these thoroughbreds are coming in and they're RSVPing and they're running big races and they're putting it out there, which leads me to believe that iron is sharpening iron and they will have something tomorrow. It's incredible. Like, that's a huge call right there. It got run. It was over the line like 5 times. But what I'm saying to you is these guys are not hiding. They're not staying down. They're not hoarding their material. They're coming in before. I could not respect that anymore, nor could I feel that energy any more than I am right now. It's incredible. I've never seen a run-up to the Smackoff with more of the participants coming in and going harder than they are right now. That's another example of that. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Jeff in Southfield, who you got? What does that do for his odds in your mind? You know, the unofficial odds. 1-800-636-8686. He's obviously ready to roll tomorrow. Wild. Again, I've had to throw this disclaimer down. I don't want the entire event to deteriorate into junk smack. We've had that disclaimer before. It's the Smackoff, not the crank-off. Keep that in mind. Jeff,
Crank.
You got it all out there, right? You don't have, well, I was going to say, I know you don't have any more crank jokes left after that call, but you probably do.